Hello and welcome to this game between Soen, the Korean orc player, and Lawliet, the Korean night elf player. So these two players are incredibly high level. Lawliet probably one of the best in the world, I would say. Soen, pretty close. Definitely one of the like semi-top contenders. Really puts up some decent results and gives all the top players a hard time. And they're facing off here on Turtle Rock. We have the Blademaster first for Soen, and a one burrow build so far, so it looks like a pretty standard one burrow tech. Meanwhile, for Lawliet, we have the Keeper of the Grove, two Moonwalls, Ancient War, so just an Archer Ancient War creeping build order here. Turtle Rock, it's a map that I don't really play that often. I don't like it, so I'm not too sure about like the metagame here for the matchups, but generally it's not a good map for Huntresses, because a lot of the creeps here have piercing damage. So Lawliet especially is one of those players who can play a lot of different styles, so I'd be surprised if he goes mass hunts here. There are certainly better options, I would say. Meanwhile, the Blademaster can, I'm pretty sure, steal the Ogre Magi right away if he positions himself correctly, like Soen does here. So we can see the double Ogre Warriors are not actually attacking. So this is basically reducing the creep camp to one Magi and two trappers. And if you get lucky, the Magi will cast Bloodlust on these warriors that aren't even doing anything. So you get pretty much an item for free and the Sentry Ward here, or the Watcher Ward rather. The only downside being that the Watcher Ward is kind of in a bad spot. You know, if you crept it normally, it'd be out here somewhere, giving more vision. But still, he picks up the Pendant of Energy, buys a Circlet. That pendant's going to be great for a second hero. And now you can just keep on creeping and use heal salves. Meanwhile, Lawliet doing the green into green for a quick level 2. Kind of splitting up his army a little bit to be more efficient and make sure that he gets that level 2. Because that's one of the scary things about Turtle Rock. You know, if you pick Treants level 1 and then you get creep jacked and you never get level 2 for a long time, it really hurts as a Night Elf player to not have that Entangling Roots. And Lawliet actually attacking once to give Bloodlust here. I think that's just a small little move to make sure if there's a Blademaster who wants to creep this like we saw down here, then there might be extra Bloodlust on something already, which will make it harder to creep. Just a tiny little move here. Meanwhile, the Keeper of the Grove just running around looking for stuff. Like I said, this is a very difficult map to actually creep on. There's not a whole lot of easy camps. Most of the easy ones are like green. So Lawliet doing a really good job here, just trying to sneakily creep as fast as he can. And the Blademaster kind of doing the same thing, stacking himself up. He's pretty well stacked now, so he's probably going to be looking for the Keeper. You really want to make sure the Keeper level 3 doesn't unlock too quickly or too easily. So rather than spend more time stacking items, he's looking for the Keeper. Although it looks like he's kind of given up the search now. He checked all the spots that he could, and you don't want to waste too much time. If you don't find your opponent, you don't find them. You just have to switch it up and go for the creeping instead. We'll see what item he gets here. Brain +4 instantly sells it. Staff. Oh, I actually used heal salve just before the attack landed, so he actually gets that heal salve without losing it. Keeper of the Grove shows up a little bit late, gets the dust, but doesn't actually see the Blademaster. And meanwhile, I think, oh yeah, this is a very old school trick here. So you use hide on one of the archers, it actually blocks the entire creep camp, and then you use your two archers to actually kill the big turtle. Of course, if this gets scouted, you are pretty much going to lose the game, because you'll lose all your archers and the creeps. But a lot of times, this doesn't really get scouted, because nobody's thinking about this camp in the early game. So unless you're actively thinking about that specific archer trick, you're not going to check for it. And that's a great way to get a quick level 3 as Night Elf, if you can get away with that. Meanwhile, the Blademaster, since he can't really do much as far as defending the space, he's not really needed, so you might as well, like, if you know that the Keeper's here level 2, you can defend this with Burrows and Grunts, you might as well keep creeping with your Blademaster. Stack some items. He can always staff in if it gets dicey. Meanwhile, we have the Shadowhunter second for Soen and a Spirit Lodge. So, yeah, I was just about to say, I mean, if we don't see the actual Huntresses, I don't think Spirit Lodge makes a lot of sense. So he actually cancels it and switches into Oh, it's because he scouted. He scouted the Talon build here from Lawliet. So scouts the Talons, cancels the Lodge, and gets a Tauren Totem instead. You're not going to beat Talons with Shaman. You need to get those Spirit Walkers. Level 3 unlocked. A really fast level 3 considering the map. And yeah, we did get the whole creep crept here. Or at least a big turtle crept in. Talisman Evasion dropped there. Not too good. At least not for the Keeper. Let's see what second hero. We actually, yeah, we do have a Demon Hunter, so... Keeper into Demon becoming more and more standard in most of the matchups, I would say. Desperately trying to get that one grunt kill. Cost a TP, though. And he better hide those archers. He doesn't have a dust, but he might step in with a dust and see if the archers are still here, because the corpses are still fresh, but he doesn't want to waste the time. Meanwhile, Soen being very, very annoying with that peon, positioning it in such a way that only the Keeper could attack it. Well, I can heal up fully here. And yeah, the strategy now for an Night Elf is just wait for Master Talents. And either creep as much as you can with this Ancient War, or try and prevent your opponent from creeping. But, you know, as soon as there's Ensnare unlocked, it's always very, very scary to run out on the map. Especially if you already use your TP, so Lawliet's probably going to take a little bit more of a defensive position here. Just creep. Probably wants to solo creep the Demon, though. Oh, taking quite a bit of damage here on the Talon. Yeah, solo creeping the Demon makes a lot of sense. The Keeper's kind of done his job. At this point, he's going to become an Orb Holder and a Staff Holder. You don't really need to level him up further. Whereas the Demon obviously is going to be very, very powerful throughout the game. Oh, nice little creep jack from the Blade Master. And yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see what Soen goes for. I expect Serpent Wards. It's very, very strong against Talons. But you could always play this classic Hex heal wave. And we have some great items here on the Shadowhunter as well. It's a lot of mana. Soen keeping good tabs with the Blade Master and the staff. So even if he would get entangled and focused, he can always staff up. Picks up an Inbow as well. Nice dust. He might have to staff here. Yeah, he should have staffed. Oh, they entangle range nerf kicking in there. Could not get that last entangle. I would have forced an Invul or a staff. Meanwhile, Soen, you know, this is the perfect thing as Orc is that you have, if you know your opponent's down here, you can take a pretty risky, difficult camp because you know nobody's going to show up. This is completely safe to do, even though it looks kind of greedy. So getting this Overlord, we'll see what item he gets. But Lawliet, of course, doing the same thing. Claw plus 12, that's an amazing item. Not the best, though. I mean, like I always say, what you want to see here really is the auras. Helm of Valor. Great item for the Blade Master, but again, it's not an aura, so it's not what you're looking for. But still, two good items for both players there. And Soen, from my personal experience, like playing against Soen, like if I go Talons, or if I go anything except Mass Hunts, he always tries to go for a lame style. But by which I mean like a base hit and run and building towers and expansions and stuff like that. So I'm curious to see if he's going to actually do something similar against Lawliet playing Talons. That's one of the options you have as Orc now. If we look at Soen's base, we do have these fortified burrows at tier 2. So what this means is that a Talon push is not scary. Back in the day, all these would have heavy armor, and if a bunch of Talons show up, they'll kill all your burrows in 30 seconds. But nowadays, everything here is fortified, so if Orc wants to, they can always just choose to base race and force a TP from the Night Elf over and over. So I'm curious to see if that's what we're going to see from Soen. Tinker third, so it's a pretty classic Talon hero combination, just replacing the Beastmaster with the Keeper kind of. We actually cycled the big turtle to prevent Soen from killing it, but he actually gets it, I think. Oh, greater mana. Amazing items, amazing items. Really stacked Blade Master as well. And this is the type of Blade Master you love to see if you have Mass Talents. If you're going like Dryads now, oof, this just might lose you the game on itself. But knowing that you can always cycle this over and over again is really nice. Great little runaway ward here. You really want to kill this as the Night Elf player, because otherwise you will take quite a bit of piercing damage on your Talons. So it's a great way to just distract your opponent if you're running away. And I mean, looking at the situation here, equal supply for both players, that's usually a huge advantage for Talons. Usually if you're playing Talons, you're going to be about 10 to 20 supply below your opponent. So Soen definitely cannot take a straight up fight at this point, and it looks like he is going to go for some type of base raid shenanigans. We have 1 speed scroll. You might want to buy a TP. Again, that's one advantage of the Talons is, if you do actually get a couple cyclones off, it's not enough to speed scroll, but you actually have to invest that TP. Lawliet just creeping and banking at 50, getting more Moonwalls. Nature's Blessing, he knows that how Soen likes to play. So he's getting that Nature's Blessing. Make sure the main doesn't get sniped. TP in. Speed scroll out. Nope. Not yet, at least. Actually gonna try and take the fight, okay. Going for the Demounter right away, Ensnare for days. Gonna force an Invul or a Greater Healing. Greater Healing goes first. Soen just keeps on focusing and putting down these wards. Now forced to back off. I mean, he forced an item at least. A pretty significant item. Without really losing anything, so. Now's the perfect time to run away for Soen. And meanwhile, towers. This is a very, very typical Soen style. He loves to play this way against Talons, against Lures. Just hit and run, and towers. But there's a Wisp here, so I'm not sure if Lawliet actually sees. Yeah, he sees the tower. He's going to go down there. And this is one of the weaknesses of Talons, is of course, the fortified towers are very, very difficult to kill. Your entire army is doing very minimal damage. But on the other hand, a huge upside to the Keeper. You can get all of these Treants. Force of Nature obviously also affect the Treants, so they're going to be a lot more tanky and quicker. So these towers are going to go down, but it gives Soen time to swing around again and just go for the main, or creep something big, the last remaining big camp. And Lawliet is actually... Oh, I actually missed this entirely. There's an expansion here, an expansion here. So Lawliet reacting to this base slaming style by just expanding all over the place. Which is smart for a lot of reasons, but especially because if you're playing Talons, once you have 50 food Talons, that's about as good as your army is going to get. So all the gold and wood you get after 50. With any other unit combo, you can just keep making units and it feels pretty good. But with Talons, it doesn't really feel good to have 60 food Talons, 70 food Talons. So Lawliet chooses to invest all of that gold into expansions instead. And more Moonwalls. So I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, we do have a Hunter. I was going to say, it'd be cool to see a Hunter Soul just to get the Wellspring. We do have that now, so a lot of Moon Juice unlocked for Lawliet. Ultra Vision going to be great against base laning as well. And yeah. And I don't even think he knows about this expansion, but he's just going to set up towers anyway. Devotion Aura here for Soen, a huge item, at least a huge item in a straight up fight. We might not even see a single straight up fight, so yeah, perhaps not the best item in that case. He'd rather have something to make his army quicker. And yeah, now we just kind of enter this phase of the game where, as Night Elf, what do you do? Oh, he's actually breaking with fairies. I wonder if he's going to transition to mass fairies to have some piercing damage, or if he's just getting these two for mana flare. And if so, I'm really curious to see what late game army Lawliet can go for. Who TPs in to defend his expansion. Which Soen just discovered, and then he has to run away, because, I mean, there's no way Soen can take a fight, like I said. Unless you're a good chunk supply above your opponent as a work in this situation, you're not going to take a straight up fight. Even with wards. Even with these great items, it's not enough. But upon seeing this expansion, I'm curious to see if... Yeah, so Lawliet... Soen, excuse me, is breaking upkeep. Starting to get that big army. Has these couple of distraction towers, and this is really, really cool, because Soen's going to force Lawliet to choose here. Do you want to stop these towers, or do you want to save your base? There's a great position here from Lawliet, though, the Ancient War with Nature's Blessing in the front. So I'm curious if Lawliet has time to actually kill the towers and TP home, or if he's just going to perhaps double TP. So TP home to save the base, and then TP again. Starts by sending in some treants, which is really cool. But he TPs in. Actually cyclones the heroes to prevent a TP or a speed scroll. We should see something here from Soen. Is he really just going to run away? Yeah. I would have panicked there and I would have TP'd instantly as Soen, but he kept his cool. Didn't actually lose anything, I don't think so. He actually doesn't have a single speed scroll. He's kind of starved for slots here. which is very, very uncommon with double hero like this. There really isn't anything he wants to sell, perhaps the staff, just to get some speed scrolls. And now Soen doing the very smart play, you know, forcing the TP and then just running over here and right-clicking. There's no way to save this expansion, I don't think. Instant on the Wisps to prevent repair. And Focus Fire. And now he can use the TP, the one that he didn't panic to use, which I was thinking. Now he can use that to get out. Really cool play. And the towers, they're up. And there's more towers. Oh my god. There's so much happening on this map. And this is actually, so this isn't an expansion, it's just Lawliet trying to deal with these towers by making Ancient War and entrance. More and more towers. Soen keeps up with the hit and run strategy here. And Lawliet, he is still above 50, so it's kind of hurting him a little bit. But they're both above 50, so in that sense, they're equal. I mean, yeah, we do have quite a few Fairy Dragons, and really that's the only unit you can add to that 50-foot army. Like I said, you don't really need more talents. You might as well add some fairies for a little bit of piercing damage. But piercing is not good against Warcraft either. These towers take a long time to kill. Pocket Factory and Treants are the MVP here, along with the Demon Hunter here, in dealing with these towers. But Soen doesn't care. He's going to go in. Obviously he has Pillage, so he's getting quite a bit of gold here. Just picking up buildings, waiting for that TP. Getting more and more units. Now we should probably see an instant TP. Or we might actually try to take a straight up fight. He has quite a few wards out, and these wards are doing a ton of damage. Piercing damage to the talons. But Mana Flare on all these Fairy Dragons, so the Spirit Walks have to be very, very careful, taking a lot of damage from them. Meanwhile, Entangling Roots, Focus Fire on the Raiders. The pumped up talons are actually in a very, very bad position. Pocket Factory really isn't helping at all. They're very, very exposed. More and more wards. These wards are so hard to deal with because they don't get priority on anything. They're not going to get auto-attacked by anything. And magic damage does nothing to them. So if you want to deal with these wards, you have to manually click them with your heroes. It takes a lot of presence of mind to do that in this type of fight. So these wards are just not dying. And we saw a lot of Moonwolves go down earlier, so there's really not a whole lot of healing for Lawliet, but the Blade Master is exposed and goes down. There was no heal wave in time, no TP transfer. At level 4 Blade Master, that loss kind of changes the tide of the game here, I'd say. Level 5 Shadow, though, I'm curious if he picks level 3 wards or level 3 healing. I'd almost want to see the wards, honestly. Level 3 Serpent wards is pretty huge. Timer Revive on the Blade Master and TP up. Nice little ethereal form morph here to save the last walker. A lot of healing that can be done here for healing selves. Meanwhile, at the end of the day here, Lawliet does have that expansion, so it did not go down to the towers. And Lawliet has built a bunch of towers, but still no expansion. And since we're still tier 2 for Soen, I'm sorry, Soen, I might have said Lawliet. Since we're still tier 2 for Soen, there's not going to be a tiny Great Hall. So if he actually wants to expand, it's a very, very slow process. And even if there's a bunch of towers up, a Great Hall being constructed can be cancelled quite easily from this army of Lawliet. So I don't actually foresee an expansion going up for Soen anytime soon. His biggest chance to win here, I would say, is going to be to just right-click this expansion, TP out, and try and win a last-ditch one base against one base situation. And again, it does kind of favor the Orc the longer the game goes, because the 50-food Talon army doesn't really get that much better, whereas the Orc army, if it's 60 food, 70 food, 80 food, it's just getting better and better. Oh, we do have the level 3 Serpent Ward. Look at that. 48 to 52 piercing, 200 hit points, immune to magic, no attack priority. That means that if you attack move into this, these wards are never ever going to get focused. Incredibly annoying spell to deal with. Expansion does go down. Lawliet. Just going to go for the main here, and Soen has two choices now. Either defend this, or go for the base trade. He's very, very far away. Oh. Okay. I thought he was TPing and he's ran away with all his army by mistake. But just staffing in to cancel this expansion. He is going to go for the base lane. So first checking this spot for expansion, and then going to go straight for the main. Like I said, everything here is fortified. Even though we have Pocket Factory and Treants, this takes so long to kill. So even though Soen had to start from here and run all this way, he's still going to threaten more than Lawliet is. So you can definitely threaten this main. But Lawliet very, very smart here, leaving a couple towns in the main to throw Cyclones. Doing anything he can to slow down this base lane here from Soen. And actually kills the main. And yeah, great time to TP if you kill the main. And here we go. Very, very defensive TP. And someone actually runs away, even though he lost his main. And, boy, I mean, he has a little bit of gold and a war mill. He could potentially get a great haul. But it's going to take... Oh, I see, building more towers. Wow. So he has to wait for all this wood here. Then he can slowly start a great haul. Meanwhile, the gold mine has run out for Lawliet, and this unlocks one of the most powerful aspects of Night Elf. You just get that free next expansion. He already has the Nature's Blessing. Just uproot your trees and walk to the next expansion. Bringing his Ancients of Wind with him, very, very smart. It's going to provide a lot of positioning. If there's a fight, you can root them one here and one here, for example. Or just keep them uprooted. And have them as fighters. So Lawliet gets this for free. So he has to invest quite a bit here. And he actually spent all his gold on something. I assume this peon has also been ordered to start a great haul. We'll see. Nope. So he kept making towers but didn't invest in an expansion. I'm not really sure why. Oh, he actually bought 2 heal scrolls. So Soen just forgot about that tower, I guess. He's going all in here. He wants to win a fight. Picking off the last moon walls, setting up the serpent wards. Again, double heal scroll and heal wave. So there's a lot of healing in this army. Blade Master showing up as well. And Soen doing this kind of hit and run style with serpent wards. So you see these serpent wards are being very annoying, but one rocket does go down. Again, there is this wellspring and 4 moon walls, so it's very, very hard for Soen to actually take a fight in the main, or what's left of the main. Meanwhile, more and more serpent wards coming up, and the only downside for Soen here is that he hasn't really snowballed any of these. They just kind of pop up on their time. Now going for the Demon Hunter, should see an invul pretty soon. Instant Cyclone and Blade Master remove all the DPS except for the serpent wards doing the time as well. Invul does get popped. More and more serpent wards. Yeah, as you can see, it's so hard to deal with these wards, and they're dishing out a lot of damage over time. 1 heal scroll has been used. And this is where it gets dangerous for Lawliet. The longer he waits to defend now, the more and more serpent wards are going to show up. And once there's 4, 5, 6 wards, now you just can't win that fight anymore. So he has to go pretty soon. Just waiting for that Demon Hunter to heal up to full. Now he's going to go for it. Look at these wards. Such a siege. 4 wards. I mean, I'm not even kidding. It's so hard to attack into this right now. But Lawliet has to. He has to defend his main here. He's going for it. Find a mana burn, but great position from Soen and Snare and moving back to Shadow Hunter. Focusing to come up again. There is no invul this time. There's a staff. So we have to have permanent critical strike just before he gets staffed out. Amazing. And Soen has to run away a little bit now. Look at these wards. They're just doing all the damage in the world. Talon after Talon going down. Level 3 critical strike really putting in a ton of damage, even though there's Cyclone. Dispel and a couple of hits before the next Cyclone is enough to kill that Tinker. But Soen, he hasn't had any income this entire time. He has no gold. There's no way to replenish mana or health in any way. He's completely dry on mana for his Shadow Hunter. And Lawliet still healthy with that gold mine. Rebuilding his heroes. Could make even more Talons as well. So even though Soen is doing an amazing fight here, really, really efficient, amazing fight, he still has to kill this main somehow. And there's Nature's Blessing. And there's an army behind it. And critically, this Orb of Venom spreading poison, I think, is the MVP right now. It's going to be very, very difficult for Soen to actually deal with that. He wants to keep spamming these Serpent Wards. He's never going to have enough mana for a heal wave. More Talons showing up here. Slowly spreading the poison there with the Keeper. And the Keeper actually trying to go on a mission here to kill these Serpent Wards. But even a hero, I mean, it's 200 hit points. It's a very healthy ward. Man. I wonder if Soen could have not bought those 2 heal scrolls and started a Great Haul. He probably wouldn't have been able to fight as well without those heal scrolls though, so tough choice to make. Yeah, ooh, level 6. So you might at this point actually want to wait just for one heal wave. There's a lot of red HP here. Actually running out of Dispel as well. There's not a lot of Dispel left and there's a lot of Cyclones. So. Yeah, it looks kind of like checkmate. Like Soen just does not have the power he needs to actually kill the main. So the fact that this main could walk over and set up this expansion has pretty much won the game for Lawliet. Unless Soen now sells everything he has and starts a Great Hall, but that seems to be the wrong choice. Really, yeah, he's just buying Clarities, salves, and going for one last attack. I would have loved to. Oh yeah, he can't buy Mana Potion. He doesn't have a tier 2 main. I was gonna say I would have loved if he sold the staff and bought a Mana Potion in combination with the robe. It would be really nice. Drop the robe, use a Mana Potion, but there's no way for him to buy a Mana Potion. Here we go. This is going to be the final attempt. 200 mana on this Shadowhunter. Demon Hunter's back though. He's going to get level 5 now. I wouldn't even be surprised to see level 3 evasion at this point. So I'm trying to deny the Tinker at least. And Lawliet's probably going to try and defend this, but he doesn't really have to. I mean, you really want to keep these Moonwells alive if you can, and the Altar, but even a Headhunter was showing up here. But yeah, there's so much Cyclone and there's no Dispel left almost. Last ditch attempt here to just focus down the Keeper of the Grove, Ensnare, Invul. And, oh, amazing Cyclones. Last second Cyclone staying in the Keeper. Picking out the Walkers with the Talons as well. Switching targets to the Demon, but the Demon does have that potion and a lot of good items, and evasion of course. So focusing the Demon Hunter is, you're in trouble if this is your last chance to win the game. Shadowhunter, last Dispel of the game he used to save the Shadowhunter. Mana burn, 70 HP, and ticking down from the orb. This has to be it. GG. Wow, really cool game. Really cool game. Just not enough juice here. So close to actually pulling this off. Very, very impressive by Soen. The decision making, I think, was excellent. Instead of defend, like running, you have to be very, very, very calm if you make that decision to run all the way from here to the main while you're getting attacked. But I think it was the right call. I don't think he could have defended if he TP'd, and he turned this into a very, very close game. Just didn't have enough to actually break the main here. It was so close. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the game, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.